Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time, we are going to be looking at a single chapter from the 7 stages of purification and the insight knowledges.
Oh, cool.
And we're going to be going really deep with this one.
Okay.
We're looking at chapter 6, Purification by Knowledge and Vision of the Way.
Okay.
And this is about those moments that you have in meditation.
Those are fun.
Those are fun. Those are really exciting moments.
This is a really pivotal chapter, I think.
Yeah.
Because this is where it moves from mundane understanding to super mundane understanding.
Oh, that's so cool. So it's like you're getting a glimpse of what's possible.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So it starts off with these 3 full understandings.
Kareed.
Yeah, which when I first saw those, I was like, what is this?
Yeah, there's a little bit abstract, but the concepts are really about deepening your grasp of reality.
Okay.
Each one of these is kind of like climbing a ladder to clear perspective.
Okay, so like each full understanding builds on the last one.
Exactly.
All right, so what's the first one? I'm ready to climb this ladder.
Okay, so the first one is full understanding as the known.
Okay.
Yatabiran. And it's basically,
what is that?
Like, think of it like this. Have you ever seen a magic trick and you're like, how did they do that?
Yeah.
Then the magician shows you how it's done.
Oh.
It's kind of like that you start to see the true nature of things.
Okay.
How they work, their causes and effects.
Oh. Okay, so it's like you're seeing the mechanics.
Yeah, like the magician is showing you the secrets.
Oh, that's cool.
Of the illusion.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah. So what happens once you've learned all the secrets? What's the next step on the ladder?
Well, the next step is full understanding is investigating.
Okay.
Or Tiranpartia.
Oh my gosh, these names.
I know.
All right.
So with this one, you start to see the common threads that run through everything.
Okay. Impermanence, suffering, and not self.
Yeah, not exactly the most cheerful stuff.
Not super cheerful, but...
But powerful, though.
Yeah, really powerful.
Yeah. Okay, so that was number 2. What's number 3?
Okay, number 3, this is like the big one. Full understanding as abandoning, or pahanaparian.
Okay, abandoning sounds a little harsh, though.
Yeah, it's not as harsh as it sounds. It's more like, as you get this deeper insight, you naturally start to let go of unhealthy attachments.
So it's not like you're forcing yourself to give up things you like.
Exactly. It's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
Think of it like you're holding onto a hot coal.
Okay.
Once you realize it's burning you, you don't need to force yourself to let go. You just drop it.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. So it's like once you see how clinging is actually causing you suffering, you naturally want to let go.
Exactly. It's not about deprivation. It's about understanding that leads to a natural release.
Yeah, like you see how it all works, and then you're just like, oh, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah, and you create space for something new to emerge.
I like that. Okay, so we've climbed this ladder of the 3 full understandings.
Yeah.
And it sounds like we're starting to see things a little bit differently now.
Yeah.
What happens next?
Well, that takes us to the progress of insight knowledge.
Okay.
Which actually outlines 8 specific stages of knowledge.
Okay, so we climbed a 3-run ladder, and now we've got 8 more runs to climb.
Basically, yeah.
Buckle up, everybody.
Yeah, each one builds on the last, and it takes you deeper into the nature of reality.
Okay.
And what's really fascinating about this is these aren't just like abstract ideas.
Okay.
These are actual experiences that you can have in meditation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the first stage then? What's the first step on this new ladder?
The first one is knowledge of contemplation of arising and passing away, or Udayabayana.
Udayabayana.
And it's all about cultivating a deep awareness of the present moment.
Oh, so it's like mindfulness.
Yeah, it's kind of like mindfulness, but it goes a little bit deeper than that.
Okay.
It's not just about noticing what's happening.
Okay.
It's about seeing that constant flux.
Okay.
The arising and passing away of every thought and feeling and sensation.
Okay.
It's like watching a river flowing.
Okay.
You can see how everything's changing constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see how that would be pretty amazing to experience.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, so what happens once you start to really get a grasp of that?
That takes us to knowledge of contemplation of dissolution, or kammasananya.
Kammasananya.
And this one can be intense.
Okay, dissolution already sounds intense, so what's dissolving?
Think of it like watching a sandcastle slowly being washed away by the tide.
Okay.
So you start to see how even the seemingly solid aspects of your experience, your sense of self, your beliefs, your memories, they're all subject to this process of breaking down and dissolving.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like everything you thought was solid is actually not.
Exactly.
Wow, I can imagine that could be a little scary for some people.
Yeah, it can be. And for some people, this is where fear or terror might arise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So like fear is actually part of the process.
Yeah, and that's actually given a name in the next stage, knowledge of appearance as terror, or hayatupenya.
So wait, I thought meditation was supposed to be all about peace and calm? Why are we talking about fear and terror?
Well, it is about peace and calm, but sometimes you have to face the uncomfortable truths before you can get there.
Oh, okay.
This fear arises because you're starting to see the impermanence of everything.
Okay.
Everything you've clung to,
Okay.
everything you've identified with. It's like the ground is literally shifting beneath you.
Yeah.
And that can be terrifying.
Yeah, I get it.
But facing that fear is actually a crucial step on the path to liberation.
Okay, so it's like you're kind of purging those fears.
Exactly. Once you've seen the inherent danger in clinging to impermanent things, you're ready for the next stage.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring on the next stage. What's next?
All right, so next we have knowledge of contemplation of danger, or Anupassana.
Anupassana, okay.
And it might sound a little doom and gloom.
Yeah, danger doesn't sound like a super fun stage.
But it's actually very liberating.
Okay, how is contemplating danger liberating?
Because it helps you see the root of your suffering.
Oh.
You start to understand how clinging to impermanent things,
Okay.
whether that's material possessions, relationships, or even ideas, inevitably leads to pain and disappointment.
Oh, so it's like you're learning from the fear.
Exactly.
Instead of running away from it, you're kind of going towards it.
Yeah, you're looking it right in the eye, learning from it.
And then once you've learned from it, what happens?
Well, then something really interesting starts to happen.
Ooh, I can't wait. Ooh, I can't wait. So you've stared down this danger. You've seen the root of suffering. Now what?
Well, that brings us to knowledge of contemplation of disenchantment, or Nibbidanapasanana. It's all about seeing the world with a fresh perspective.
Disenchantment almost sounds like a bad thing, but I have a feeling it's not.
Yeah, you're right. It's not about becoming cynical or pessimistic or anything. It's really just about seeing the truth without that sort of craving and clinging that we normally have.
Right.
Like, imagine you're at a carnival. And at first, everything's exciting and alluring, all the lights and the sounds and everything. But after a while, you start to see through it a little bit. You see the crowds and the overstimulation.
The cheap tricks.
Yeah, you become disenchanted.
And then you're ready for something deeper.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that longing for something more is actually what the next stage is all about, knowledge of desire for deliverance, or Muntitakamiyadaina.
So you've seen through the kind of superficiality of it, and now you're like, okay, there's got to be something more.
Exactly. You've glimpsed the possibility of a different way of being, and you can't help but desire that freedom.
That makes sense.
It's like you've tasted a drop of pure water after drinking from a muddy puddle for so long.
Yeah.
There's something better.
Okay, so now you have this desire. What do you do with that?
That leads you to knowledge of contemplation of reflection, or Anupassana. This is where introspection really kicks in.
So we're turning inward.
Exactly. You're taking all these insights that you've gotten so far, the impermanence, the suffering, the disenchantment, and really reflecting on them.
Okay.
What does this mean for my life?
Oh, okay. So you're starting to connect it to your personal experience.
Yeah, you're starting to see the patterns in your own mind.
Oh, yeah.
The ways you've been creating your own suffering without even realizing it.
Oh, that's deep.
And then that leads to the final stage in this progression, which is knowledge of equanimity about formations, or Sakotpekanya.
Okay.
This is where you find a sense of peace and acceptance that's like nothing you've ever experienced.
Oh, wow. So it's like we're taking equanimity to a whole other level.
Exactly. You're not just understanding these things intellectually, you're embodying them.
Okay.
You've seen the truth of impermanence and suffering and not self.
Right.
And now you can observe these things without getting swept away.
Okay.
It's like you're a mountain unshaken by the winds of change.
I like that analogy.
So yeah, it's an amazing stage to reach, but it's not the end.
Oh, really? There's more.
There's more. This is just a turning point.
Okay, so it's like we reach the top of one mountain.
Yeah.
But there's a whole mountain range ahead of us.
Exactly. And this is where the transformative power of this chapter really comes in.
Okay, I love a good sequel. What's next?
So we're about to enter the realm of the extraordinary.
Okay.
The next section introduces this concept called insight leading to emergence, or Vojanagamina Vipassana.
Vojanagamina Vipassana. Wow, okay, so emergence, it sounds like we're breaking free from something.
You could say that. It's like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly.
Well, I like that, okay.
You've gone through these stages of purification and insight,
Yeah.
and now you're ready for this radical shift in perspective.
Okay, so what happens? What is this emergence?
Well, with insight leading to emergence, the ordinary mind,
Okay.
which has been conditioned by lifetimes of habitual patterns, starts to awaken to something totally new.
It's like you're waking up from a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've been living in this dimly lit room your whole life, and suddenly someone throws open the curtains.
And the light comes flooding in.
Exactly. And you see things that you never knew were there.
Okay, so what do we see? What's on the other side of emergence?
What you discover is this really profound distinction between the compounded and the uncompounded.
Okay, compounded and uncompounded, what are those?
Okay, so think of it like this. Everything in our experience, our thoughts, feelings, sensations, even our sense of self,
Okay.
that's all compounded. It's made up of parts. It's constantly changing. It's subject to impermanence and suffering.
So that's like everything we've been talking about so far.
Right, and then the uncompounded is nibbana.
Oh, okay. So that's like the ultimate goal.
It's that state of ultimate liberation, perfect peace, freedom from suffering.
Okay.
And it's the opposite of everything that's compounded.
So it's like you're finally seeing the difference between the world of constant change and this realm of unchanging peace.
Exactly.
Wow.
And this isn't just a theoretical understanding. It's something that you experience directly.
Okay, so it's like an actual shift in your experience.
Yeah, it's a visceral knowing that changes everything.
Okay, so how do we actually experience that? How do we get from seeing that distinction to actually being in that uncompounded state?
That is a great question, and it leads us to one of the most pivotal moments in this whole chapter.
Okay, I'm ready. Lay it on me.
It's called change of lineage knowledge, or gotrapono.
Gotrapono, all right.
See where it gets real?
Change of lineage knowledge. It sounds pretty dramatic.
It is in this moment, your mind literally changes lineages.
Whoa, okay.
It shifts from being rooted in the world of compounded things to being oriented towards the uncompounded.
Like you're switching teams.
Exactly. You're going from team compounded to team uncompounded.
I'm on team uncompounded.
Right.
Yeah.
So up to this point, your mind has been focused on formations, all those thoughts and sensations and perceptions.
Okay.
But with change of lineage knowledge, something really remarkable happens.
What happens?
The mind lets those of formations and turns towards nibbana.
So instead of being caught up in the world of experience, you're focused on that which is beyond experience.
Exactly. It's like you've been staring at a flickering candle flame your whole life, and suddenly you shift your gaze to the vast, unchanging darkness that surrounds it.
Wow, that's powerful.
And with this shift in perspective comes this profound sense of freedom.
I bet. It sounds incredible, but does this just happen once, or is it like an ongoing thing?
That is a great question, and it's one that leads us to the next chapter in this journey.
Okay.
But I think we've covered a lot of ground already.
Yeah.
Our listener might need a moment to process all this.
Yeah, that's a lot to take in. All right, listener, take a deep breath, let these insights sink in, and we'll be right back to explore what happens after this amazing change of lineage knowledge. Welcome back, everybody. So we just left off at this change of lineage knowledge where the mind shifts its focus from all that change to something that's in-changing.
Yeah, like nibbana.
Yeah, nibbana. We climbed this huge mountain and now we've got this amazing view.
It is an amazing view.
Yeah, but do we just stay here and enjoy the view, or what happens next?
Well, it is a view worth enjoying, but the journey definitely doesn't end there.
Okay, so we're not done yet.
No, not quite.
What happens next?
This is where you enter what's called the supermundane path.
The super what?
Supermundane. It means above the world, basically.
Okay, above the world, so we're really transcending things here.
Yeah, it's a path that leads to complete liberation from suffering.
So we're not just peeking into this other realm. We're actually stepping onto a new path.
Yeah, exactly. And on this path, you have these moments of awakening.
Oh, wow.
Where you directly see the truth of reality.
So it's not like gradual progress. It's like these sudden leaps.
Yeah, exactly. It's like leaping from one mountain peak to another.
I like that. Okay, so we're getting into some really advanced stuff here, and I know we want to stick with chapter 6, but can you just give me a little taste of what this supermundane path is all about?
Sure. So remember those fetters that we talked about before?
Yeah, the things that keep us bound to suffering.
Yeah, things like clinging to a sense of self and doubt and all that.
Yeah.
Each stage on the supermundane path represents a breaking free from a specific fetter.
Okay, so it's like you're shedding these layers.
Yeah, exactly. You're revealing your true nature.
That sounds pretty amazing. So what are the stages?
There are 4 stages: stream entry, once return, non-return, and then arahantship.
Arahantship, that sounds familiar.
That's the ultimate goal.
Oh, okay, so the final stage.
Yeah, complete liberation.
Wow, so what's it like to go through those stages?
Imagine a river flowing toward the ocean.
Okay.
At the first stage, stream entry, you're like a small stream that's just merged with the river.
Okay.
You've glimpsed the ocean. You know where you're going.
Okay.
You might still encounter some obstacles, but you're on the right path.
And then what about the next stages, once return and non-return?
With once return, the current gets stronger.
Okay.
You're moving more swiftly toward the ocean.
Okay.
You might get caught in a whirlpool here and there.
Oh, yeah.
But you always get swept back into the flow.
Oh, I like that.
And then by non-return, you're like a mighty river flowing directly toward that vastness.
So there's less and less resistance.
Exactly.
Wow. And then finally you reach the ocean.
That's anhantship, the complete merging.
Wow, what an incredible journey.
It is. And even if you don't reach a handship in this lifetime, every step you take on this path brings you closer.
Okay, so it's not just about the destination, it's about the journey.
Exactly. Every insight you gain, every fetter you break free from, it brings more peace, more wisdom, more freedom into your life right now.
That's really inspiring.
So even if we don't become fully enlightened beings in this lifetime, we can still live with more awareness, more compassion, more joy.
That's a beautiful message.
And I think the most important thing to remember is that the path is always there. Even if we stumble, we can always return.
Okay, so don't get discouraged.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was quite a journey. We went from the 3 full understandings to these 8 stages of insight, and then to this amazing super mundane path.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. So, listener, I hope you're feeling as inspired as I am by all this.
I hope so, too.
Remember, the potential for liberation is always within you.
Absolutely.
So keep exploring, keep learning, and keep seeking that boundless potential within yourself.
That's what it's all about.
Thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.